journalist Hangout. But I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Now today on the program, police arrest mastermind of Abuja Kaduna train attack, identify officer who shot man dead during fuel queue row in Lagos. And later on, we'll share this with you. Federal government begins 15-day emergency fuel supply to tackle scarcity. May I report I'm hanging out with Dotun Oladipo. Dotun, good evening. I greet you.
Good evening, the citizen.
Dotun, we are joined by the unputdownable Ibenabo Dixon.
Good evening.
I greet you.
Welcome to the show.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, the team is ready. I hope you are. All right, let's go. You know, political party defection has been one of the major banes of the democratic process in our country. But are we willing to do anything about it? A former governor of Katsina State, Ibrahim Shema, has jumped ship. The lawyer and politician who ruled the state for 8 years defected from the opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, along with hundreds of his followers. He describes the defection as a homecoming. You get this sneaky impression that political party defection has become normal in our jurisdiction. Dotun.
Well, it has become
normal.
Normal, indeed.
As if people say on the street, is the new norm.
Is the new norm.
Okay.
But in this case, I think what those in Katsina are doing is to prepare for 2027.
Oh, really? So
basically,
the 2027 jostling, that's what you are looking at.
It's already taking shape. When you look at the last election, you'll see that despite the fact that the APC had the upper hand, they actually had their hearts in their mouths before, during the election. It was only after the results were announced that the party could say, hooray, we've won the governorship. But in the presidential election, they were defeated.
Okay.
The APC was defeated. Atiku Abubakar of the PDP won in Katsina. He defeated the...
Against the odds?
Well, not so much against the odds, but the fact that APC was expected
to nick it.
To nick it. But because of factors like Shema,
okay,
there were certain permutations that didn't go right. For the governorship, Shema supported his brother.
All right.
But for the presidential
incumbent.
election, yeah, so to say, it went the other way because the party was not united. And what caused it? A rift between Shema and another former governor of the state, Aminu Masari. So what they can see very clearly is, if we are going to go into 2027, then we can do better. What are the things or what are the issues on ground? Are they strong enough to warrant this division? You recollect, Citizen Jones, the off-cycle elections that we had. I said it here. I said, what helped the sitting parties in Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo states was the fact that they were able to manage the crisis within the party. If you look at a state like Igbo, the deputy governor for the last time was dropped for political expediency.
Okay.
And the man quietly left and said, see, we understand that if APC is going to win this election, then I must...
Are you seeing the recent development in Imo as something that has to do with the 2027 politics?
It had to do with even the last election.
Okay.
Where the incumbent won. Because they knew that where the then deputy governor came from, the zone, won't help them.
Okay.
Despite his popularity, despite all of this, they needed to look at the votes. Where will they come from? So they went and chose a deputy governor from where they knew they had a weak link. The man the former deputy governor will deliver his area to them. That was certain. But they had a weak link somewhere. So they had to go and look for the deputy governor from there. And they got it.
Yeah.
If you look at Bayelsa, the governor made sure that everybody who left the PDP came back before that election. That was why Timi Receiver had no chance. He knew it from the onset that he had no chance. Everybody that left the PDP for APC was brought back.
Okay.
So, and like I've said on this program, especially at that time, if politicians can learn to be humble and learn to reconcile their differences, we won't be having all these big parts when it comes to election.
Okay. Ibn Abbas, so as he said, I'm not preempting what you are going to say. Defection has become a way of life here.
Obviously, and because the Constitution has made it a bit flexible, so it's not as rigid as it used to be. And so people find it very convenient to jump from one party to the other. But looking at what is going on here, I want to particularly look at PDP. PDP has been fraught with enough imbroglio all this while.
Man-made.
Yes. And the question is, the party has its own ideology. There is a rule book. So how come, because if you look at it, it's like some people want their ways to be pushed. They want to thrust their ways on some people, and these people will say, no, we can't have it like that.
Okay.
So now the problem is, now that Shatima, I keep calling him Shema, has moved to PDP.
No.
So from PDP to APC, there is PDP is already in trouble.
Yeah.
Because Shema was a powerhouse for PDP.
A broker.
Yes. So now that he has moved, I don't know, they better, not go to bed. They better not go to sleep. Or if they go to sleep, they sleep with one eye open so that they can begin to look at, they should be pragmatic. They should look for how to solve this problem. Because Shema, like they say, one person's loss is another person's gain.
Yeah, Ibn Abbas, as we always say, or we have agreed that politics is a zero-sum game.
Exactly.
If you lose,
somebody else is
gaining.
Exactly. Yes. So it's very sad for PDP because they could not, sort out their misunderstandings, their whatever the problem they had in Katsina State. And then again, for me, Ibrahim Shema left since, but he just left officially now.
Yeah.
In principle, he had left since.
So the coming days are very, very important for the politics of Katsina State.
Exactly. They have to go back to the drawing board. What do they do? Do they have such, powerhouse like Ibrahim Shatima? Because that man pulled a lot, like he said, and I believe it too. Because you look at how Rada won the election, then the presidential election, APC couldn't win. Yeah. So there was someone beating the drum underneath for APC during the gubernatorial election. Okay. And it's obvious that it was Ibrahim Shema.
All right, so what more can we add? Safe to say that political party defection in our country has become the new norm. Is it a plus? Is it a minus? The coming days will tell. Okay then, let's go to our next story. At a time when Nigerians are yoking under a season of hikes in goods and services, it is relieving to have a federal high court in Kano issue an interim order stopping the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, and the Kano Electricity Distribution Company, KEDCO, from implementing a new increased tariff for Band A users in DISCO franchise area. Recall that the NERC had recently mandated electricity distribution companies to change Band A consumers, to charge, I should say, Band A consumers higher tariffs to ensure a stable power supply for those who can afford it. Reason, we have been told, had always existed, but not always in a reasonable form. Ibn Abbas.
You see, somehow, when the government came up with this different bands, band A, B, C, and D.
ABC to E.
ABC to D, E, thank you. I wasn't very comfortable with that because there was an undertone of segregation there. Because it's like somebody lives in the highbrow area of wherever you are, and then somebody lives on the other side. So it's like you are practically brandishing segregation in the faces of people. But then if we look at it critically, if they had to spread the tariff increase, there are some people that cannot afford it.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a matter of, taking from those who have to augment what is needed for now, which for me...
Do you have a steady supply in your part of town?
Even with supposed band, sometimes they fail us. Okay. And then before the month runs out, they will now quickly give us excess.
But you don't even told us which band you are, whether it's bandit or...
Then let us leave the band.
Leave her.
Let's leave the band.
If she finish, we go no.
So that is it. So for me, I'm not satisfied with the performance of the energy sector. I'm not satisfied. So, but like a Daniel come to judgment, the Kano High Court is doing something great. They should do something great.
Okay.
Because sometimes people don't say it. Some people don't understand that you can actually, action on, issues like this. They tell you, you can't fight the government, you can't do this. But if you have your facts, you can go to court. So I
feel aggrieved.
Yes. So I actually feel that, to an extent, there is a little measure of segregation in it.
Okay.
Yes, I believe that.
Dotun, my country, your country is a country of conspiracy theorists. And we just heard that from our friend here, our colleague here.
Well, I think we still need to sit down. Like a lot of people have said, the Minister of Power appears to be one of the weakest links in this administration.
In the chain?
Yeah, in the chain of this administration. And that's because a lot of things are not just right. Nigerians can't even understand what is going on. In my own estate, as an example, there was a time...
You are Band A?
I don't even know which band. That's the bad part of it.
Okay.
There was a time they were bringing huge bills. And then the estate managers told us...
But you are better able to determine what band you belong in if you weigh supply to...
You are able to... that is what the problem is now. They tell you are in band A. Do you get that supply? That's a big question.
At least 20 hours.
So it means you are being charged for what you are not being supplied. That's why I wanted to use this example. I was told at some point that we were on 16 hours 2 years ago.
That makes you band B.
I think so. And the bills kept coming. And people complained. We're not even getting these 16 hours. Let these people reduce it, I think, to 14. It came down to 12. And then, you see, you now get to a point where on some days you ask yourself the question, I have used my generator for about 8 hours. So where is the 12 hours these people are supposed to supply? Because it doesn't even just function. And then we keep hearing different kind of permutations from them. We are going to carry out, you get these text messages very easily, frequently from them. We are going to carry out maintenance from 12 to 2 p.m. We are sorry, we couldn't finish at 2. It's now 8 p.m. On the day you should even have supply. So it's a huge issue. But like we've said, all of these things, in reality, don't come cheap.
Doctor, factor the Kano development,
yes,
the Kano High Court
that's where I'm going to now.
Go there.
That all of these things, even despite this judgment, electricity doesn't come cheap, not anywhere. But what most Nigerians want...
Sounds like a cliche.
Yeah. What most Nigerians want is, let me pay for what I use.
I consume, yeah.
That's all. Nobody is saying...
But is it necessarily true, Ibn Abba, that Nigerians are ready to pay for a service? Just give the service, they'll pay for it.
You have to be consistent.
Okay.
That's just the issue. A welder wants to work during the day. You are giving him power from 12 midnight till 6 a.m. in the area where he's working. That doesn't make sense. People need to be able to say, okay, if I buy this fuel for 2,000 naira and I'm a public transport owner, can I make 2,005 in order to be able to go back to buy another one? That's what Nigerians want. But we are not even getting what we are supposed to get, which is the first thing that the government ought to have done.
Do you see more courts in the near future towing the line of the Kano State High Court?
It will definitely happen when people go to court. Okay. But the fear of most Nigerians is if we go to court the next 10 years, we are there. That's the fear. It will definitely happen because we must get to a point where what you are charging me must be commensurate to the service you are providing. You can't come and say you have put me on band A 20 hours and I can't boost of 2 hours power supply in a day. At the end of the month, you are bringing me bill for what somebody who has enjoyed the electricity for 20 years should be paying.
Yeah.
That's
ungodly. Well, he is telling us what we already know. Nigerians are not a litigious people, but that does not stop the court from working, doing its job.
That shouldn't stop the court from working because, you know, and unfortunately, most people have lost hope in that sector. They believe that, why should I even go to court? Because by the time the judge will continue to adjourn and you already get frustrated. So they preempt the performance of the courts even before they even take the case to court. So they just, before they even get there, they already you know, abort the plan or the thought or whatever. So there are so many things we need to look into. We need to look at our judicial, that sector and make it work, let it work. And then we need to inject enough trust into Nigerians to believe in the, you know, pronouncement of any judge from any court of jurisdiction, because they will tell you, I don't believe this. Maybe somebody went behind the door to do something and all of that. So there are so many issues that needs to be sorted out before Nigerians can have the faith in our judicial system and believe that if I am aggrieved, I can go to court and I'll get justice.
All right, sorry, we are joined now by gentleman Sulaiman from Ibadan. Sulaiman, I greet you. How are you?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening to everybody in the studio.
Okay, let's go, Sulaiman.
Yes. I don't know. May I just ask one or two questions as I contribute to this matter?
Okay.
Please, is it true that the federal government is a 40% shareholder of all discos? Two.
Where did you get that from?
Well,
is it a conspiracy theory? Me, I never hear that one.
That is why he's asking the question. You clarify.
Me, I have not asked. I mean, I don't know. The answer from me is I don't know.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Let's put that aside. What stops the discourse from being allowed? What stops the discourse from being allowed to own the transmission network, as it happens in the telecommunications sector? How can distribution be guaranteed by the distributor who does not own the distribution mechanism?
Suleiman, I know there are three processes here. You have the generation, distribution, and transmission.
He has asked a very critical question.
And transmission is entirely in the purview of the federal government.
Yeah.
So what can Poor Me do about it, Sulaiman? Thank you, brother.
That's
Sulaiman.
the issue.
Are you done? Are you okay?
I think he's there. That's the issue I raised about the minister having to have ensured that that process can sustain what he's putting out to Nigerians before making that pronouncement. When it's raining, we have too much of power supply. Some of us are even scared because there are dams that we have that will provide the electricity. When we don't have any shutdown, we have enough gas. How do we ensure that all of these things work? How do we ensure that the power that we generate from our dams is consistent?
You know as much as Ibn Abbas does that the problem is not generation, it is transmission.
Well, not entirely transmission.
But
still part of it.
And you also must not forget that states have been empowered to generate electricity.
Just a few states now. Not all of them. Hopefully.
It's a process and it will take a while.
It will take a while.
Yes.
Hopefully, what Lagos has will come into play now. Lagos has always had its own IPP, especially for its secretariat. It will come into play now.
Okay.
But what we are saying is generally these are the factors that ought to have been put into consideration before announcing this Band A thing, and then people become agitated.
Gentlemen, we'll go on this commercial break. We should be back very shortly. Please stay.
Transformational leaders constantly seek opportunities to reflect, reskill, and re-strategize for peak performance. That is why we invite all senior leaders in the public and private sectors for the ultimate leadership experience at the Dr. Abiola Salami International Leadership Bootcamp, holding in Mombasa, Kenya, from June 23rd to 29th, with the theme Driving Transformational Leadership with the Magic of Emotional Intelligence. This exclusive opportunity will expose senior leaders to a premium learning experience, a global faculty from Harvard University, daily relaxation schedule, luxury beach, and wildlife tours as they network with other global leaders. Don't miss out on this chance to engage and rejuvenate with thrilling activities in the scenery of Mombasa. Register before June 7th, 2024 to secure your spot. For inquiries, punch us an email on hello@abiolachamp.com. You can call us on +234 909 123 4567. That sale is powered by Champ, a global leader in driving a culture of peak performance.
All right, folks, welcome back. Let's go to our next story. You know, evidence abounds on every hand that an effective policing system would crack the most untoward crime in our society. The cheering news came in that the Nigeria police arrested the alleged mastermind of the attack on the Abuja-Kaduna train, where some passengers were killed in March 2022, if you remember. The mastermind was identified as a certain Ibrahim Abdullahi, also known notoriously as Ominous Monica, or is it Mandy? So where do we go from here? But first, let's share the story by TVC News' Lupa Asom with you. Let's go there.
Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi joins the Kaduna Command as they parade suspects arrested in the state from January to April this year. Over 200 suspects are presented, with a significant number of them apprehended in communities along the Kaduna-Abuja route. Most of them are under 30 years old. Among them is Mandi, the mastermind behind the 2022 train attack, along with 2 other accomplices.
On the Abuja-Kaduna train of March 28, these 3 were involved in the attack. They took part in the operations, launched attack on the train, killed some innocent Nigerians. They were able to arrest these 3.
Weapon fabricators and gun runners were also arrested, and the police promised to intensify operations to clamp down on their activities.
We are beaming our torchlights on some of these agents who fabricate, who procure, who transport arms and ammunition to them in their various camps. And this is one of them. Imagine where 60 rounds of AK-47 ammunition land.
Where did you learn it?
I didn't learn it. It's a gift. I'm doing it that time because of attack. Kagoro, Kafanchan, that time, the attacker used to come in the night. There's no any soldier, nothing. So we are doing it to give the vigilante group.
The force PRO revealed that the IGP, Kayode Egbetokun, has procured air assets, and the police are set to begin nationwide night area surveillance.
We commence night patrol as well. We are hoping to have choppers in all the 6 geopolitical zones. If we cannot have in every state, well, we are hopeful to have in the 6 geopolitical zones, so that when we have day patrol, we can as well have night patrol to assist all the operations.
The police appeals to citizens to continue to cooperate with them as they escalate efforts to rid the nation of dissidents and criminals. Lupe Asom, TVC News, Kaduna.
Yeah, welcome back. Dr. Yes, so the alleged criminals are in the net. So where do we go from here?
Well, where we need to go from here, as a lot of people have been saying, is to ensure that these attacks don't even happen at all. Because a lot of times when they happen in Nigeria, it takes us years to get those who are involved, if we ever get them. Number 2, it takes us years to prosecute those courts. And most times, at some stage, Nigerians lose interest in following up the case.
Nigerians would lose interest essentially because we hardly punish bad behavior.
Yes, that's what happens. Now we've heard that this guy has been caught. Some were caught before. Nothing is heard. It's like what they call cold case. It just goes down. I'm happy this is happening, and we must commend all security agencies for what they have done. DSS, Department of State Services, police, you know, all of them, NIA, DIA, they've done fantastically well on this Kaduna-Abuja train attack. But we need to see more. And like we've always insisted, what we should do is more of prevention. Because bringing about 3 persons to show us now for their involvement will not make up for the deaths we've had, will not make up for the psychological trauma the families went through in over 1 year of holding those hostages. It won't. But now that we even have these guys, we want to see justice. How long will it take? There is a case in court now. A publisher who is held for allegedly being the go-between between the bandits and families. What will happen? That case has been in court for God knows when. We want things to happen fast. It's not just enough to arrest. Let's see justice served. And let's see more of prevention than looking for the criminals.
Yeah.
And that is what a lot of Nigerians are interested in. Let's see that.
Ibn Abaso will reconcile what he has just said with the fact that when you create a doubt in the mind of the judge regarding a suspect, the matter is determined in his stead.
Yeah, in his favor.
And that is very unfortunate because, you see, I totally agree with what he said. You know, I know that, see, Nigerian police, if they want to work, they can work.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Give it to them.
The police can roll with the punches and they can deliver. But, you know, the problem, for me, I feel that maybe the way we we have become so weary of the slow process of our judicial system. Probably the police too are having the same experience because...
Yeah, but you are told everywhere on the planet that the wheel of justice will grind slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
surely.
I think when they say grind slowly, they should look for another word for what is obtainable in Nigeria. Because some very simple cases that,
do you like pussyfooting? Okay.
Some very simple cases that the evidence are all there. It's almost like this case is done and dusted, and then you begin to drag and drag. At the end of the day, people get tired of following up on what is going on, and then Nigeria, things are always happening, things are always popping up, so you get distracted.
And theories are always being spun.
Exactly, all over the place. So the bottom line here is, the government needs to look at that sector and see what they can do. And in as much as it is fair that justice is not, served in a hurry, because you have to really, really be sure that whatever you're going to, whatever you're going to pronounce upon this alleged criminal is fair and is commensurate. And also, I read something about this story, and I saw a portion where the police said that efforts underway to identify his sponsors and supplier of weapons.
Okay.
This is not the first time. As anybody, or as police at any point in time, brought forward a supplier of all of these weapons, we just get to read them. They tell us what they're about to do. I just hope
you are not begging the question, because you just said if the police wants to work.
Sometimes when you're talking about Nigeria and Nigerian police and all of that, you hear yourself sounding like a broken record, because this is the situation we have on ground. How do we mop up the proliferation of arms in the country? Everywhere you go to, people, if some years back, AK-47 was like a big deal.
Yeah.
Now, everywhere you go to, everyone can handle it.
Doctor, I'm sure she knows that AK-47 has a senior brother. They call it AK-49.
AK-49 day.
So
they have all that in the arsenal.
Yes. So what is the government doing about this? Because it is scary. If they had shown the face of that guy, he's a very young person.
Oh, he is.
And he has this.
Most of them are about 30.
Yes.
That report said.
And even younger.
They look very well fed.
Because
money day now.
Money day now. They know what they are making. And for this guy's story, it was. Recall the Greenfield University abduction in 2021.
Yeah.
It was a major perpetrator. So this is a young man that has found it very comfortable to perpetrate crime. So I just hope that the needful will be done anyway.
All right. Yeah, Doctor?
Yeah, for me, like you said, I think we need our police to firm up investigations before we push people's faces into the camera. You see, it is very easy for us here to begin to say, see, we need to start comparing our system to that of the United States of America, for instance. We've had people, Nigerians thought are criminals. They've always gotten away here. Some of them won't even try to travel out of the country. When you look at the case of Hush Puppy, it's a good one for us. He's always been here with us.
Doctor, there's a second leg to that story.
Yes.
That the police also has unearthed the man who shot somebody dead on a fuel queue here in Lagos.
At least we're happy that happened. Because when I read that report, the first thing that came to my mind was, okay, where it happened is a small village. You might think it's big, but in that area, virtually everybody knows everybody. They can pick where you have come from. So when the DSS said it wasn't his personnel, I knew it was going to be from the Nigeria police.
Okay.
And over the years, these operatives have been warned. Don't go to filling stations armed. Don't go to filling stations armed. Beyond that provocation.
Anything is possible.
Beyond that provocation, there could have been an accidental discharge.
Yeah. And all hell will be let loose.
Will be let loose. Yes, the story that came was this filling station, they prioritize security agents in terms of supply because that's their area.
Okay.
And they prioritize them. But when you came in and you saw that there was this commotion, we have been on this queue for 6 hours, we have been here for 8 hours, why did you have to shoot? It's part of what we've always said.
Discretion.
These men and officers, they should, from time to time, be evaluated psychologically. Because what warranted that? Somebody says, I've been on the queue. You can't be attended to before me. So what necessitated bringing out a gun? And I'm happy that the police did not hide their own. They've thrown him into our face. We now know who he is. But even if they tried to, those boys around that area, they know him. Because it's a small community. It's not a big community.
All right, Doctor, we are joined now by Mahmoud Hassan. He's somewhere here in Lagos. Mahmoud, I greet you. Welcome. How are you?
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, then. Let's go.
Yeah, in fact, I just called to call people because this is my favorite program. And each time I make sure in the evening by 5 o'clock, I'm on standby to watch the program. I commend you so much. This program has gone international. I commend GD and all of you there that always participate on General Hangout. God bless all of you.
Amen.
Bless you too. Is that all?
That's all. That's all.
Okay. We want to do more. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a good one that the police did not hide him, and because that's the only way to ensure that there is no retaliation that can lead to bloodshed in that area.
Yeah.
Because those youths are also gearing up to retaliate, which is good. So let's see him come out in...
Even about the need to make our police officers and men become discreet, especially when it comes to handling weapons, cannot be overstressed.
It can't be overemphasized. And, you know, with all of these issues about accidental discharge and all of those stories, I think it's high time the IG goes back to the drawing board and look at how what are they going to do? Because the fact that the policeman is always going about with his rifle does not stop crime perpetrators from not performing their evil enterprise.
Okay.
So what's the point? As a matter of fact, it's even better if they are very discreet with their weapons. So a person goes to a place, he wants to, have a quick, crime, attack on criminal attack on people, and then the police comes up and then he is disarmed. But once you know that a police is there, because you see him he's all armed.
Yeah.
You want to re-strategize, and at the end of the day, what's going to happen to everybody there? So the bottom line here is there is need for the police to do an overhaul, because the stories around the police, they are not very palatable. And I know that there are very, very fantastic policemen, but these very odd ones amongst them are not making it easy for people to appreciate every effort of the police.
Yeah, indiscreet police officers and men will make the job of good police officers a dangerous one at a time like this, Doctor.
Well, it's always been a dangerous job from the onset. Once you decide to go against criminals in the society, it's always been a dangerous job.
You are a target.
Yeah, you are a target. But what we've always fought for is let not the citizens who are not criminals get hit by bullets. That's what we've always... In fact, you said it also, that even in a situation where you are not sure that a man is a criminal, it's better you err on the part of caution and allow him to go than bringing him down. And this was even very unwarranted in a filling station.
Of all places.
Of all places, where we have tension rising in the country every day. A lot of people have parked their vehicles now because they don't even want to go through this. I'm not sure if you saw a video from Ibadan yesterday showing the longest queue that the person ever saw.
No, show me the one from Akwa Ibom.
Okay, that's what you want. You know,
okay, then.
Stretching so many, meters, and
yeah,
people are getting agitated. So anybody who is going anywhere now should be careful, because it's just a small thing, and you trigger violence.
All right. Well, don't forget, our business here is to help mold opinion. It's a bad situation, worse. The federal government has stepped in by commencing a 15-day emergency supply to ensure availability of the commodity across the length and breadth of the country. A more permanent solution to the fuel supply problem in our country is the way to go, Ibn Abo.
I pray. I mean,
are you a prayer warrior?
I pray they bring it about, soonest. Because, you see, every time we face this issue of fuel scarcity,
yeah,
I worry. Because as I was coming down to this place, I saw a particular filling station. I don't think they were selling, and people were already throwing punches. So how long are we going to live like this in a country where we are supposed to be the number what?
We are the second largest crude oil and gas producer in Africa after Angola. And this is happening to us by choice.
By choice.
By choice.
And it has been very, if there's anything, you see what I see in Nigeria is that what is not right tends to become consistent. Because this shouldn't be. So I pray that the permanent solution to the fuel supply that is said that is on the way, we can't wait. We are waiting. We want to see the end of the queues. We want to see the end to all of this anger at filling stations where, there was a particular day that I was at the filling station and this uniformed man, but not a police officer though. He was there and was trying to, harass everybody. And we had to talk some sense into him, and then later on he
sobered down.
Yes. How long are we going to live like this? It's very frustrating.
All right. Doctor, I'm wondering if you understand the politics of fuel supply in my country, your country.
Well, there is, for me, really nothing to understand other than the basic things we've been told. We import fuel. It lands at the port.
Oh, unashamedly.
Yes, because we are going to go back there. It comes to the port. From the port, it goes to those who have, what do you call it, Atapapa, jetties and all the rest. And then
tank farms and so on.
The tank farms. The tanker drivers go there, they pick it and go to different parts of the country. And that is why in the case of what is happening now, Nigerians have been begging the government to always eat us in the face with the truth.
Yeah.
Because nobody can say beyond the statement from the NNPC that there was a disruption in the distribution flow. What exactly is this disruption? I've read quite a number of permutations.
Please join. The other leg is that IPMAN, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association, are saying they are being owed 2 billion naira.
For them, it's small money. Okay. It's not even this issue of money now that we are talking about.
So mine is the buck passing is not helping anybody here.
Does IPMAN have fuel to carry, even if they are not talking of to distribute, even if you are not talking of the 2 billion?
But NNPCL is telling you that it has close to how many liters?
1.5 billion. 1.5 billion.
Billion liters.
Yeah. So
that can last us another.
If we have 1.5 billion.
So why are we in this mess?
That's the point I'm making, that we need to know the truth. That's why on some platforms, I've read it, that there was a problem at the point from which we import fuel, a breakdown of the refinery. So we are not having supply. The day after that statement came, we heard that cargoes will come in and that they'll start discharging, you know, a hype was created around that story.
Yeah, yeah.
About the cargo coming in, about cargoes coming in. So, giving us a sense of, does it mean that the 1.5 billion liters we are talking about are on the way? Are they on ground?
Or are they already here?
So, we need as Nigerians to always know. The major problem Nigerians, in my own opinion, have with government is that we are not always saying the truth to the citizens in order for us to be able to gauge the problems we are in. For instance, we've been talking about the issue of removal of fuel subsidy. It's just now we are getting to see some of those things that went on in the past.
Okay.
We've been talking about the issue of Forex. With how much have we been helping our currency? We don't know.
You've forgotten another pertinent problem here. Fuel, those who steal are crude.
Yeah, they still are crude. But the big point now is, the question this week has been, do we even have the crude? Because if we have the crude, we can refine. Dangote refinery has not started producing petrol.
Hold it. Does it not bother you, Ibn Abatu, does it not bother us here that the NNPCL is the only institution allowed to import, to bring in?
No. There is a room for others to import, but you have to deal with the issue of Forex. You have to deal with that.
But NNPCL is enjoying a monopoly.
You can't call it a monopoly.
Okay.
The only reason it looks like
something.
The only reason it looks like a monopoly is because NNPCL appears to be the only one that can source dollar.
Why?
Quickly.
Why should it be?
Exactly the point. Because that's what private importers are saying. We can't compete because we have to go to the black market to source for dollar.
Are they being aided?
So we need to understand a lot of things in Nigeria. And that's the point for me. If we don't understand the nitty-gritty, the small details of all these things.
The truth of the master is that nobody tells us the truth. They just look at the situation and tell themselves, okay, what do we throw at these people? And then they come up with something.
Ibn Abba, we live in a relative world. Truth is relative. Whose truth are you asking for? But hold on. Let me introduce a new element into this discussion, critical too. When we toyed with the Petroleum Industry Act for close to 20 years, did you think the PIA was a silver bullet? If you understand what I mean.
I do. And the problem, you see, the bottom line here is the average man's character in Nigeria. Anything that is going to come out and will work out and things will go on normal, like we're talking about oddity and new normal and abnormal and all of that. Whatever is going to seem normal is never welcome. We don't welcome it. We delay, we drag until we get to a point where it becomes inevitable.
Doctor, is this really us?
That is who we are.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because...
Obviously.
See, I've said it a couple of times on this program. We have more than enough laws to deal with every situation we have in this country that we don't even need a legislature again. UK has an unwritten constitution. It's running well. We have so much written on paper. We are not running well. If we waited for the PIA to be the main deal, then by now you should have straightened out the oil industry. We've been running it for how long now? But it shows that the problem we're having are those running the system. It is not about the laws. It is those who don't want the system to run in a fair manner, that everybody
people like that
can
amongst
have,
us.
that in a way that everybody can have a sense that this wealth is indeed common to all of us. We're only talking of common wealth.
Let me introduce another crazy element here. Dotun and Ibn Abo, we send raw crude out. When it comes back, what we have is the premium motor spirit, the automated gas oil, and nobody is asking.
And kerosene.
Other byproducts.
A barrel of crude oil has 42 byproducts. 42. And nobody's talking about it. I don't know if you understand what.
No, I do understand you, and that's the point also here, that we need our people to understand that we know a lot more than they are telling us. But we should all be fair to ourselves. Let our conscience be at play when we get into government.
All right.
Everybody.
Call it knee-jerk or whatever you like to call it. Ibenabo, government has kick-started a 15-day operation to ease the wahala of petroleum supply in my country, your country.
Kickstarting that,
yeah.
Does that mean that we are going to see the back of queues at fuel stations?
That's what it means.
Permanently.
Permanently,
yes.
yeah.
Because it is frustrating. I mean, this inconsistency, you plan your month, you plan your week, and then suddenly, you begin to experience issues like this. So if the government is sincere enough to bring it to bear, I mean...
Why not?
Why not?
It says the emergency supply will ensure availability of the commodity across the length and breadth of...
Some of us are waiting for the 15 days. It won't take long.
It don't start.
So it won't take long. We are waiting. We hope that when it comes, it's going to be permanent. A lot of the things that are happening in the country, we need the government to help us to tie the loose ends. We need the government to explain certain things to Nigerians. Because when you allow the things that fly on the social media to remain there without a counter narrative, then you are leaving it to become the truth.
Dotun,
do we even have crude?
Dotun, let me drop this. The idea is not to humor you, but my friend Zebrodaya Okorigwe,
yes, last 4:30,
Chika Okpala, he said, I have seen 99, will be 100.
Will be 100.
Nigeria don't see more than 99.
Hopefully, we'll get there. But we need...
I hear we must go home.
Yes, but we need permanent solutions.
Okay.
Permanent solution that will ensure that those byproducts that you mentioned, we have them here with us, and not some others that we have sold our crude to benefit from them. So it means our refineries must work.
Yeah.
It means we are also advocating that Dangote should start getting crude to refine petrol, not just...
All right, so that will just about do it for the show this Friday. We want to thank Dr. Oladipo for your time.
Thank you so much, Citizen
Binabo Dixon, many thanks for your time too.
Always a pleasure.
All right, if you missed any part of this broadcast, not to worry. Later tonight at 11, a repeat broadcast will take our airtime. But don't forget to join us on Sunday for an expanded edition from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. And then, of course, we are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. And so on behalf of the Backroom Boys, I am Citizen Jones Hussein saying thank you for watching. Bye-bye now.
Here's what a good hair day looks like and feels like. With the new Lush Hair Care range, made with a cocktail of nature's finest oils. With hibiscus oil for hair growth, rooibos oil to eliminate frizz, amla oil to prevent hair breakage, to give your hair life and bounce. So go ahead and be confident.
Stunning, flawless, beautiful.
You deserve the soft life, so does your hair. Lush Hair. Be beautiful.
Amaria, now where they come from? For inside this hot sun.
Antenatal enter market.
I happy well for this clinic where they go. It is very important for the baby.
Not true. It will make me dey safe. Me, and my baby where they carry for my belly.
That means say everybody, plus including pikin, so where they inside belly, go collect vaccine.
Today, I collect vaccine for tetanus. I collect vaccine for COVID. And those vaccines, now them go take care of my baby and me myself. And now I can't know say he get vaccine for pikin them separately.